Randy, this is the second Monday of the new year.
Wow. Time flies, man. Time flies.
Are you doing anything different?
I parted my hair on the other side.
I noticed that.
Yeah. You like that? You like the look? Yeah. Anyway. But no, it's just where does the time go? In fact, that's going to be part of our talk today as we share some stories and tips. But Randy Wooden with Goodwill Industries of Northwest North Carolina, the director for our professional center. It's based here in Winston. But you know what? We have clients throughout the galaxy.
Oh, the whole galaxy?
The whole galaxy. That is the internet and everything else. But no, certainly we're free. We do work by appointment. So if you'd like some help with a job search, hey, you know what? It's a new year. It's time to lose weight, quit smoking, eat better, be nicer, and maybe get a new job. All that stuff. No,
I'm not signing up for all that, Randy.
You're not signing up for all at one time. Okay. Well, if let's just say a new job, let's just limit it to that. But yeah, we're happy to help. And one of the things that we do to help is share some ideas for job hunters, not only today on today's show, but on our Wednesday show. And we'll talk a little more about that. But before we do, who are you, Mr. Burriss?
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
For those who have never seen my smiling face before or heard my words uttered out of my head, I'm Teddy Burriss. I work for a company called Burriss Consulting. We're social media strategists, LinkedIn trainers, coaches, all about helping people master LinkedIn as a business tool. Our new business model is also teaching Google Workspace and Gmail as business tools. And love doing this. I've been doing both LinkedIn and Google since way back then. But every week, Randy and I get together at least twice. You don't know about the other times we get together. We get together at least twice, and we just get into conversations.
Yep.
And every Monday, just like today, we tell a couple stories. We introduce you to our Wednesday special guest that we're really excited about this week. Randy, I don't know that we've ever had a special guest on that we weren't excited about.
No, I think back, and I will say there's some that I was, especially people that you bring in because they're your contacts. I don't know who they are. I've had a few over the year or the last 2 years where I kind of wonder, okay, where's this going to go? Yeah. But not from a, this is going to be boring, but just like, okay, this could go any number of different ways. And things always seem to have a way of working out great and just awesome. So I love what we're doing, man. And I hope we can continue until the cows come home or whatever that euphemism is. But hey, I've got a story to share with you. And last time out, I talked about John Madden's passing and me being a football fan, a sports fan, and just my thoughts on his impact on the game and also in our culture in terms of the video game and so forth with Madden, the football stuff. So there's that. But I guess you'd have to be living under a rock to not know that Betty White passed recently. And Betty was known to people well beyond just Madden with sports. But I mean, she was in the media, movies, TV, I think since the 1930s. Back when you and I were little kids.
In the 30s, I was not quite a little kid.
Back when we were little tykes. Point being, generations have come to know and love Betty through TV, through movies, and so forth. And so when she passed, it felt like a part of our youth passed or a part of our life, kind of that whole phase of, I remember Betty White when. And it got me thinking a little bit. I have I bought a scanner, nice scanner here recently. So I'm trying to figure out how to work that. I may need some help.
Do you have the operator's manual?
I'll get it.
Yeah.
Oops. But I had scanned a bunch of photos a year or two ago. I had another scanner that has since kicked the bucket. But it was interesting because I was scanning old family photos and I would see photos of me as a kid, whatever, that kind of thing. And I'd look at my dad or my grandparents or my aunts and uncles or other people. And I say, man, they're old.
Yeah.
They're old. They're old.
Yeah.
And you know what? You look at the date on the photo. And I'm now older than they were in the photo. And it just dawns on you that time passes and it passes very quickly. And we have memories of our youth and of friends. And just one other quick thing, again, through Facebook, you get to see people throughout the years, but more and more now I'm seeing my Facebook friends with their adult children getting married or having children of their own. And I look at them and I think, gosh, I remember when that kid was 6 or 10, not when they're 30, because that was my last memory of seeing them. So just interesting, just an observation. Time passes quickly.
It does. Hey, let me add to that, buddy. This is an interesting one. My oldest daughter, who was born in 1982, just turned 29.
Oh,
yeah. Do the math. But she says she's 29. But 1982, how the heck did that happen?
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
It's really 40, but don't tell her I said that out loud.
Yeah, I won't tell a soul at all about that.
Yeah. Hey, here's my story, Randy.
All right.
Maybe I might have talked about it a little bit last week, but I want to talk about it a little bit more. Last week, I think we talked about simplifying my life. And one of the things about simplifying my life is also every year I have a word of the year. Every year I have a word of the year, and you can't see them, but they're all in front of me on the wall in front of me, so I can see my words of the year. This year, Randy, my word of the year is no. No.
Well, you've been married a long time, Teddy, so I'm sure you're used to hearing that. But now, so that's your word now.
It's my word of the year. But look at my criteria for no. My criteria for no is this: the answer is no if I'm not interested, it's not my concern, nor is my responsibility.
Okay.
Otherwise, it may become a yes. But that for me is, and I wrote the article on my blog, burrissconsulting.com. I wrote the article like I've done every year since 2013, I think. I wrote the article about why my word of the year is no. And what was really interesting, Randy, is I've been producing content on burrissconsulting.com, my blog, since probably 2009 or 10.
Yeah.
This is the very first time I wrote and published an article that went out to millions of people, 1,600. And I got phone calls and email messages saying, thank you.
Nice.
That was pretty cool, man, because I gave them a story and I gave them a perspective that really resonated with people. So I share that to say, every single one of us needs to use the word no with purpose and intention. I think the answer is no to any request unless it's of interest, concern, or responsibility.
And sometimes, just to add to that, sometimes you need to get more information before you can make that no decision. Sometimes you hear it and you're like, tell me more, but then it can still be no. But I think at least then you've heard their story and the why behind it. And that helps you make a better choice on that. Yeah. And, you can't get time back. Time goes and you can't recoup it. So how you spend it or invest it is key. So, spend it where you need to. All right.
And
it's your time.
It's your time. That dude who's in that other country who wants to have my email address because he has $1 million that he wants to give me. I didn't ask him a whole lot of questions before I simply said no.
Yeah.
So. All right, dude.
Who you got this week, man?
This week, Kea Meyers, Kea, Kea or Kea. I think it's Kea, and I apologize, Kea, if I'm pronouncing it wrong. I've got to get back on the phone with you again and make sure I got it clear. And she and I are going to talk again later today. But Kea Meyers Duggan, Duggan. She's going to join us. And the conversation, Randy, this is why I brought Kea into this, is because she's going to talk about courage in your career. And it's really an important part of growth and success and achieving your goals is to have courage. And so Kea is she's an entrepreneur. She has her own podcast. She's a public speaker, and she's been up against these challenges, and she's figured out how to have courage, how to muster up courage. And so it's going to be a really good conversation about courage in your career journey. So join us Wednesday, the 12th, a couple days from now. at 11:55 a.m. By the way, if you join us at 11:55, you get into the green room with Randy, me, and Kea, and you can ask any question you want.
Yeah, we leave the key in the lock so that you can come into the green room on your own, at your own risk.
Yeah, at your own risk.
Interesting. The whole thing about courage is interesting. One of the biggest fears that people have really is public speaking, and for somebody like her to be a public speaker. And remember, we had Oscar. I forget his last name, but he was from California, and Garcia. He was on Garcia, and he was talking about he's an introvert. Mm-hmm. And how to face the fears that an introvert has in stepping out of the comfort zone and being a public speaker and a business owner and so forth. And I really enjoyed that conversation because I've got a lot of friends who are introverts, and it doesn't make them a bad guy, but what it does is it throws some roadblocks in front of them as it relates to interviewing and job hunting, because they're much more comfortable not in that scenario. So really curious to see what she'll have to say. And we hope you'll be able to join us. So, hey, I've got a tip for you, Teddy. You want to go first? You throw it to me, whatever. How you want to do that?
Yeah, I'll do mine, and I'll throw it to you because I think yours adds to mine. Okay.
I think so. I think you're right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we prepare this stuff, Randy. We don't just wing this.
We don't. We do. Oh, okay.
Right,
I jot down like 2 or 3 words, and then the rest just kind of.
Yeah. Here's my tip.
All right.
So I was coaching this guy. Don't anybody tell anybody about this, okay? And I won't use any real names. But I was coaching this group of people, and I had this one guy on the call. And I went and looked at his LinkedIn profile, and I looked at his activity. And under his activity, the last piece of activity he had was over a year ago. That's failure number 1. He has not had any activity on LinkedIn in over a year. But that was only the tip of the iceberg. Randy, you want me to tell you about the rest of the iceberg?
Okay. Do we need to talk quietly?
His last comment on LinkedIn, his last post on LinkedIn over a year ago said, "I'm sick and tired of people posting politics on LinkedIn." He has done nothing in a year. And every time people look at his profile and see his activity, all they see is that rant about politics. Now, don't misunderstand me. I might agree with him in some context. But I'm never going to do, say, or share on LinkedIn in any way that could diminish my brand. And B, if the last thing I said was some kind of negative crap and it's a year old, fool be me for letting that be out there. So take a look at your activity and see what it says about you. It's my tip, buddy.
Hey, and for what it's just to piggyback on that, for what it's worth, if you do utter, comment, share, post something that you think, I kind of wish I hadn't done that. You can go back and delete your comment or your post. You can go back. So find it in your activity, click on it. And if somebody else hasn't already deleted it, then you'll see it and you'll be able to fix that. But in the meantime, it's been hanging out there for people like Teddy that may view your page. So there's that. Hey, I'll piggyback with you a little bit on this thing. LinkedIn is more than just, okay, I need to go on LinkedIn because I need a job. And you do a lot of LinkedIn training. I do LinkedIn training. You do it much better and more thoroughly than I do, I'm sure. But, mine is free. And so you get what you pay for. So that's what I tell people. Anyway, and I know we're preaching to the choir because the great majority of people who will see what we're doing right now are seeing it on LinkedIn. So you're already here. But if you came here to LinkedIn only because you were a job hunter, I think you're missing the boat. Yeah. And especially when I train people who say, look, why do I need a LinkedIn if I'm not an active job hunter? And I'll use Goodwill as an example. I work for Goodwill Industries, Northwest North Carolina. We're in the people business and helping job hunters, helping the community, just doing a number of things to help people achieve their goals. Mm-hmm. So I get it that you may be a Goodwill employee who is not a job hunter, certainly not an active job hunter. So even if you're a passive job hunter, you should still have a page. But here's a reason, or maybe a couple of reasons. One is for validation. If I'm going to interview with you, let's say you're a hiring official and I'm going to have an interview with you, you know darn well I'm going to look you up on LinkedIn. If I'm considering doing business with you or partnering with your agency, I'm going to go on LinkedIn and say, who am I dealing with here? Mm-hmm. Who are these people that I may be partnering with or may be interviewing with? Or if I have an interview in the company, who are other people in that company that would be in my department?
Yeah.
And if you go on and they don't have LinkedIn or it's sketchy, it's kind of like, eh. The other reason real quick is that you want to engage with other people of similar interest. You want to learn, and you can do that and keep up with best practices. So a lot of reasons beyond just I need a job that you need to be on LinkedIn.
Yeah, good stuff. So, all right, buddy, I will see you in a couple days on Wednesday when Kea Meyers Duggan joins us in a conversation about courage. And appreciate everybody showing up and checking in with us. We'll talk later.
We'll do it.
Bye,
Have a good one. See you.